Good evening and good morrow. My name is Margen, and for the first time in over a year, welcome back to my channel. I don't even know where to start. How are you doing? You start. Tell me about you. It's been a year. It's been a long time. I've missed you. I don't even know where to start. It's kind of, once I get the ball rolling, it'll be okay. Last time I left you, I had been preparing to start a new job. I was preparing to go to Singapore. And that's pretty much it. It was summer last time. It's summer this time. Yay! Boy, do I have some life updates for you. But first, I do want to apologize for my 14-month long hiatus. It was not intentional. I filmed my last video right before, literally the night before I was flying to Singapore. I brought my really fancy microphone with me to Singapore with every intention to record. I was going to record it with my best friend that I was staying there with. It just never happened. And then I think I lost the stamina, I guess. When an object at rest stays at rest, an object in motion stays in motion. Physics, right? Is that right? I think that's how that works. So I got back from Singapore, and what did I do? What was going on last summer? I think I went immediately on vacation with my parents to the St. Pete Beach area of Florida. If you don't know, I'm from Florida. I don't know if I've ever said that. I haven't watched any of my old videos, so it's kind of like you're getting a brand new me. Just saying. And then I immediately started my new job teaching middle school history, US history, to 8th graders in Florida during an election year. So needless to say, I was 1, busy learning new curriculum, 2, busy learning how to manage an older group of students, and then I started picking up all these hobbies. I was tutoring, and I was working on something else that I will tell you about in a little bit. So I didn't have time to film, but I did. So there's really no excuse. I'm really sorry. I really am that I just kind of up and disappeared. And I can't promise that I'm going to be consistent because I have a lot of life changes coming up. But I do want to periodically at least upload on here because I do really enjoy filming. I think it's really good for me to have an outlet to talk, presumably to people who are above the age of 14, but who knows. All my content's fairly appropriate for any age group, so it's okay. And I also want to apologize for my voice. I am getting over a cold. It happens. I don't really know what it was, but we're on the other end of it, so it's okay. So I hope you can forgive me for my absence. I was honestly expecting more people to have unsubscribed from my channel, so thank you for sticking around. Your perseverance and your I don't know another word, your consistency, your dedication has not been in vain. So I appreciate your support, and I love you, and I see you for it. Alright, so I'm gonna get some objects to tap on while I give you my life updates. Like I said, there are quite a few of them. You know, I haven't filled you in on what it's like to teach middle school, especially as someone who looks really young. I look really young, I know, I get it. My students never let me live it down. They'd be like, Miss so-and-so, where are you? And I'm just like sitting in a chair. It's okay, it was okay. But I'm gonna grab objects, I'm gonna explain the objects, and then I'm gonna talk about my life, I guess. Let's start with the object in my lap. I have this really cute hair clip. This is actually handmade, not by me, but my coworker, as a present, I guess, like it wasn't a farewell present, because she gave me this mug, which I will also show you, but she gave me this. She made this. She freaking made this. Like, it came as this like clear little claw clip. Is that what they call these? Claw clip. I like clipping. I'm out of practice, so I apologize if this is a little awkward. She like got all of these materials and like glued them on herself. I think this is also like a foam material that sticks to the clip itself, and she asked me what my favorite color was, which it is yellow. So she gave me a yellow one, and she gave ones to 3 of my other coworkers, I think, and they were all their like favorite colors. This coworker that gave this to me, she is like the kindest person I think I've literally ever met. She's the most thoughtful, like unbelievable person, which actually, let me show you this other thing that she made for me. This mug. Is that a sound we like? I don't know. These nails are significantly shorter than these nails. It's because I'm right-handed. So this was literally like just like a regular ceramic mug that was just like uncolored completely. I think it was like this color, but it's so okay. We went to a pottery painting studio as a couple coworkers earlier in the summer, and she knew that I was leaving our school, which I will get into that more in a bit, but she wanted to give me this hand-painted art piece. It's literally an art piece. It's a mug, but it's an art piece. And so she had seen on my keys, okay, sorry, my brain is very scattered. So my favorite book series is the one that's being displayed here. It's All for the Game. I'm not even gonna try and explain anything about it, but if you know, you know, and if you don't and you look it up, please read trigger warnings before you proceed. Anyways, one of the quotes from, I think it is from, I don't remember which book it's from, but from this series, says, "You gave me a key and called it home." And I have a little key chain on my key ring that she saw one time, and it has a cute little fox on it, and it has the player numbers of the romantic interests in the series. So she saw it one time and she remembered it, and she hand painted, first of all, this cute little fox. Oh my god, this is literally hand painted. It was not on here before. I was in shock. I cannot believe it. in a little meadow with a little flower on its head. I have a fox here too. I'm a little bit obsessed, just a little bit. And why am I gonna cry over this? I've had this for a month and a half. And on the other side, it says you gave me a key and called it home with these little flowers on it. And the handle is a key. The mug came like this, but she painted it yellow, and it's yellow inside because my favorite color is yellow. I have never received a more thoughtful gift in my entire life. I owe this person my entire life. Like, give it up for the fox. Can you? The fox whole court? I can't believe it. So, I started teaching middle school, and to be honest, I loved it. Like, I definitely thrive more with older students. Before this, I taught elementary school. I taught 3rd grade for 2 years. And I had originally taught at a low-income Title I school pretty far out of the city that I was living in. So I wanted a shorter commute. I wanted a later start time because leaving my house at 6:30 was not the move. It was not the move. And I didn't think that I bonded well with my 3rd graders, but I also think that I could do more good, or I thought that I could do more good with older kids. And I think that that was the right move. I think it was the right decision. And I really did enjoy every single one of my students, which I think is rare. I think, we're not supposed to have favorites. I think there are teachers that definitely do have least favorites. But I think virtually every student I was happy to be teaching. So I taught the first half of US history, and I feel like I probably learned more than my students did, which is both a testament to me picking the subject back up and also them not doing anything, which that's just a product of the whole world. I could talk more about like the scope of education and my observations of my students another time, in another video. I think I'd like to do that. Again, my brain is scattered, but yeah, anyways, overall the year was very successful. I connected with a lot of students who I think really needed a connection and felt like they were seen and safe in my classroom. So I really enjoyed the subject. I really enjoyed my students, and I enjoyed the teaching aspect. I probably would have stayed there another year or two. My district was switching over to 8th grade teachers would be teaching world history instead, which I would have enjoyed that too, I think. But there was something else in the cards for me, which is why I am here today, I think. So I decided about a year ago, maybe a little less than that, 9 months ago, that I wanted to pursue a graduate education. So I decided to start applying to grad school. Yay! And it took up a lot of time because grad school applications require a personal statement that often includes like a thesis proposal. And so trying to like figure out exactly what I wanted to study was difficult, but I think again with the current political climate, it made it a little bit easier for me. So I have my bachelor's in education policy, and I obviously have been teaching for 3 years. I finished my 3rd year in May, and so I wanted to kind of shift gears into again the kind of theory behind education and education as politics and as social mobility and all these other things. And I applied to 2 schools. I was going to apply to 3, but I only applied to 2. I applied to the University of Wisconsin-Madison, and I applied to the University of Cambridge. 2 very different universities, I know. I applied to UW-Madison first, and they rejected me. They said that they had like too many applicants this year, I guess, which, you know, they have a very, very competitive educational policy program. So like, I'm just glad that there are people who are studying educational policy right now. So there was that component. And then I applied to the University of Cambridge, which is one of the top 10 universities in the world. And I was like, there's literally no way I'm getting in. Like, I am not good enough to get into the University of Cambridge. And their application process was unbelievably like rigorous. I had to write a 2,000 word thesis proposal, including sources. And I worked really hard on it. And I ended up getting accepted to Cambridge University in the UK. So I will be attending Cambridge University in the UK. That's my big news. I can't believe it still. I got the email that I was admitted in the middle of 3rd period. I was like teaching, what was I teaching about? It was in April. I think I was teaching about the causes of the Civil War or something like that. And or maybe Andrew Jackson. No, Andrew Jackson was earlier. I think I was talking about like the lead up to the Civil War. So my students were all diligently taking their notes because my 3rd period was, you know, 3rd and 4th were close, like neck and neck with being my best behaved and highest academic classes, 3rd and 4th classes, on average. So my 3rd period, they were all just like chilling, doing their notes, and I was like, oh, I have the ability to check my phone now. Let's make sure that I'm not missing anything important, like an important email. And so I open up my notifications and it says offer of admission, University of Cambridge, and I like, you know when you like get like tunnel vision in like a literal sense, like where like your like peripheral senses don't exist and you're kind of just like floating, like almost dissociated. That's kind of how I felt, because I was like, I cannot tell my students this or react in any way because my principal doesn't know yet, and my principal's gonna want to know if I am returning to teach at the school again, and if my students find out, it will get back to her. So I had to be calm, cool, and collected and be like, so anyway, the causes of the Civil War. But inside, I am freaking out. I'm freaking out. I had been rejected from UW-Madison. Again, a prestigious school in my field, but it's no Cambridge. So I was like, there's no way I'm gonna get into Cambridge. And I was admitted to the program. And the program, when I read about the program, I was like, this is made for me. This program is completely like exactly what I want to study. And so I guess they agreed that my thesis proposal was good enough. My writing was good enough. We'll see when I get there. But yeah, so I will be relocating to the UK for a year. A master's program in the UK is usually only 1 year long. And so yeah, I'm leaving in like 6 weeks. I can't believe it. I still can't believe it. Oh my god. I need to tap on something. Oh, well, we're talking about the UK. Here's my Wales magnet that I got when I toured. So anyways, I applied to Cambridge, and I texted my Singaporean friend, the one that I had stayed with when I was there, and I was like, hey, I just did this, I just applied, and she said, let's go tour. And I was like, what? You're gonna come to the UK with me and we're gonna go tour? She was like, of course I am, because she is a ride or die. I've never met anyone who's more ride or die than her. Oh my gosh. But we went to the UK for spring break. She met me in London, and we traveled up to Cambridge for a day, and I walked around and I was like, man, I'm gonna be really sad if I don't get in. I'm gonna be really sad. And I called my mom and I said, I'm gonna be really sad if I don't get in. It is beautiful here. Everyone's so like academic, and it's just like the buildings, the architecture, it's amazing. And I love the UK. And I'm not gonna lie, it'll be nice to not be in the US for a year amidst all of the political turmoil. So it is a serious bonus. A serious bonus. In fact, maybe I'll do a PhD and have the next 3 or 4 years. That'll be convenient, won't it? Anyways, we also went to Wales because I met my Singaporean friend. I met her when I was studying abroad in Wales. So I've already lived in the UK for 6 months during a study abroad stint. And I lived in Cardiff, Wales. One of my favorite places on earth. It feels so much like home. I would consider relocating there. They have an IB branch, and I would love to work for IB, I think. Anyways, that's a whole other thing. But I bought this magnet. It's a Wales magnet. It has the entire country of Wales and a lot of the significant towns. I think it's just towns, yeah. Cities. Oh, like significant places. Because like the Gower Peninsula, right down here, which is near Swansea. It's like a landmass / region more than like a town. There are like towns along it, if I'm not mistaken. And I know it's a little bit backwards for you guys, sorry. But there's Cardiff here. Here. There's Brecon up here. And we went out to Pembroke. And there's a lot of castles in Wales. And it was beautiful. We had the best weather in the UK. I was surprised. You know, it's known for being very gray and rainy, but it was gorgeous. It was gorgeous. Literally blue skies every single day. My Welsh friend, he was like, you guys like brought the sunshine with you. Coming from Singapore, coming from Florida. I was like, yeah, obviously. Is that tapping too fast? Again, I am out of practice. This is also a small item, kind of hard to hold. So, I will be attending Cambridge University. I'm wondering when it'll hit. Like, it's hit a couple times, but I don't know yet. Another, I guess, kind of life update. In the meantime, while I'm sitting here, I'm currently at my parents' house. My dad and my younger brother both work for a school, so they go back to work tomorrow for pre-planning. But in the meantime, while I'm waiting to go over abroad, I will be substitute teaching at the school that my dad works at. I'm a little bit nervous for it, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I have been able to, you know, control and manage a classroom, a 3rd grade classroom, and an 8th grade classroom. And I've covered like other teachers' classes, but it's a lot different. I think walking in when they're already knowing that they can do whatever they want, and like you have less power over them than their teacher does. Yeah. And they're already trying to take advantage of you. Like, they want a free day. They don't want to have to do work. They don't want to listen to some random person who comes in and tries to tell them what to do. So I am a little nervous about that. But this school, I think, is much better than... No, let me rephrase that because that's a poor phrasing of it. The first school that I worked at was very high needs in terms of support. The students were very dysregulated. And then I went to my middle school that I worked at, which had students that came from very like wealthy families who were very involved in their education. And then we also had students who came from like underserved communities. Their parents maybe worked 3 jobs. They were less supported at home than some of my other students. So it was like a complete mixed bag. This school that I will be substitute teaching at is a charter school. So that already changes the dynamic because it's a lottery to get in. So parents have to be pretty involved. I think there's a volunteer requirement for parents. So I have a feeling that the kids are generally going to be better behaved because they could also be kicked out of the school because it's a charter school. Like, they don't have to be enrolled there. But I don't know, it'll be interesting. What else is new? Let's see. In the last year, I traveled to Singapore. I traveled to Washington, D.C. I went to the National Book Festival. I traveled to Milwaukee and then Madison, Wisconsin to tour UW-Madison before they rejected me. It was a beautiful campus. Very expensive, though. And then I flew to Columbus, Ohio, for my grandmother's celebration of life. Unfortunately, my grandmother passed almost a year ago. She was very, very old, so I'm glad she is no longer suffering. But then I went to Miami. I traveled to Miami. I took the Bright Line, the high-speed rail that goes from Orlando down to Miami. Why don't we have high-speed rail all over the United States? I could rant about that for literally ever. I'm gonna table that. I could talk about that in another video. It was so convenient. It couldn't go quite as fast as some other high-speed rails like in other countries because of like zoning laws. I think it may be zoning laws, neighborhood laws, I don't know. So it did take quite a bit of time, but it took way less time than driving, and it took way less time than flying, which is how most people would normally do that. So I went down to Miami for my birthday, except I'm not a very Miami person. Same way I'm not like a Vegas person, you know, it's just not really who I am. But I do respect people who are, because I could see it being fun if that's what you're into. I then went to the UK. I flew into London. I took a day trip to Cambridge. We stayed in Swindon. I don't really know why we did that. I think we thought it was closer to the Cotswolds than it is. And it was harder to find like affordable Airbnbs or hotels. So we stayed in Swindon. We explored Swindon. We had a delicious coffee and bap from like a garden cafe. It was honestly really nice. What y'all got going on in Swindon? And then we went to Cardiff, Wales, and again, it was like coming home. It was so nice. It was amazing. We ate at all our local spots. We walked around the town. We finally saw the castle. In my 6 months living there, I did not like to pay the admission fee to go into any of like the ancient buildings. Like there's like the wall around the castle, and then the castle's up on a hill. You can be like in the yard in like the field next to the castle and see the castle, but I've never gone in, so I was able to do that this time. And we took the train out to Pembroke, walked around Pembroke, enjoyed the trains because it was just so peaceful. My Singaporean friend, she just kept falling asleep on the trains. That's how peaceful it was. I read a lot on the trains. I'm going back to the high-speed rail thing. Car dependent United States. I'm so sick of it. I'm sick of having to drive everywhere. I want to walk out my door and walk a block to get milk or eggs or a coffee or something. I live in my parents live in a very rural area, so I understand. I get it. But like, come on. It should not take me 20 minutes to get into a town. I hate it. It's okay. I'm gonna be living in Cambridge, so I will have a reprieve from that. Anyways, and then I came back, and then I had to push through the end of the school year, and let's see, what have I done this summer? I have not done very much traveling. I am saving my money. I will be going to Milwaukee at the end of August, towards the end of August, to visit my Wisconsin friends, my book club friends that I met online. Kids, don't meet people online until you vetted them. Just saying. So I will be doing that. But other than that, I have no traveling over this summer. I went to 3 concerts. Actually, I have. Do you know who this is? Do you know whose album this is? It's written on the top. This tapping is much better. It's bigger. Have you figured it out? It is. Ooh, I am. Glass Animals have been one of my top 5 artists for like literally 10 years now, and they finally came to Florida. They were in Jacksonville, and I think they were maybe somewhere else too. I don't remember, but they were in Jacksonville, and I saw them. I was literally front row, standing, like they were right in front of me. Unbelievable concert experience. I could not recommend enough. They are fantastic performers. Oh my god, it was amazing. And then I also saw ATEEZ. For all my K-pop fans out there, if you're into K-pop, I saw ATEEZ in Orlando. Also an amazing concert experience. Oh my god, can they perform? 3 straight hours? 3 hours of performance, dancing and singing and costume changes and set changes. The theatrics were unbelievable. Last September I went to New Orleans and I saw Childish Gambino. And it was his last night performing, possibly ever. I literally can't believe it. So he had been maybe in Tampa, but that was on a weekday, and I was like, I want to go. So he was performing in New Orleans on a Saturday. So my roommates and I decided to get in the car and we drove to New Orleans. It was like a 9-hour drive one way, and we went for the weekend. I didn't take any time off work. We left at like midnight on Friday. Friday, changing over to Saturday. And then we arrived in New Orleans. We stayed up. I think we took naps. We ate a lot of beignets, drank a lot of alcohol, and then, you know, that's what you do in New Orleans. And then we saw Childish Gambino. I think Willow opened for him. She was amazing. He was amazing. I was honestly blown away. And then he announced the next day that he was sick and he would not be performing at his next show. And then he announced he was postponing the rest of his US tour and maybe also his Europe tour. And this was his last tour as Childish Gambino, at least. So I know he has like health issues. I don't really, since like, I don't know, September, I really haven't been keeping up with it, so I don't know what's going on. But if that was the last performance of his ever, I literally can't believe that I was at it. Anyways, so I saw ATEEZ, that was incredible. And then literally 5 days later, I saw Ado, A-D-O, Ado, in Orlando as well. And Ado is a Japanese singer. She is like faceless, so she has never revealed her face, but her concert, I really didn't know what to expect going into it. My friend, he had just invited me because he really liked a lot of her music and I had liked what I'd heard, so I just kind of went with it and I didn't know what to expect. I was also blown away. I could not believe her talent and like the theatrics. Like, it was like a laser show. The screens had like all these animations on them. There was a live band who were unbelievably incredible, and she herself, she was just like behind, I don't know, I don't think it was mesh, but like a mesh screen, so you could see her silhouette, you just couldn't see her face. So she was like dancing and singing live, and her singing, if you have never heard her music, I highly recommend it. I really like Value. If you're interested in her more like, or her less screaming music, she does have a lot of very like emotional, heavy, like screaming songs. I also like those. I'm into that. So it was such an enjoyable show. It was so unbelievable. And the rules, I guess, they wouldn't let anybody not use their cell phones, but they couldn't take any photos, videos, or use binoculars before, during, or after the show. And honestly, it was kind of nice because I wasn't on my phone. I was enjoying a concert in the middle of like the experience, and it was really nice. It was so nice. Bring that back. I could say a lot about cell phone use, social media, overconsumption. I have a lot of thoughts, so maybe I will utilize this channel because I kind of have to get them out somewhere. So I feel like I've yapped enough today. I don't know, have I? You tell me. Let me pose you a question. Who is the best artist you've ever seen in concert? I'm asking you 3 questions. Questions 3. I'm the troll under the bridge. You have to answer my questions to pass. What have you done in the last year? What was your highlight of the last year, we'll say? What did I say? Who was the best artist you've ever seen in concert? And what is your favorite time period of history to study? There you go. Those are your 3 questions. That's your task for today. It's your homework. Miss Margen is here to tell you that that is your homework. It will be graded. It is due promptly as soon as you can get it in. Please do not use AI. That's another topic I could talk a lot about. I will do a whole video on that, I promise. I don't want to make promises, so maybe I shouldn't say I promise. I would like to do a video on that. If you want to see anything in particular or hear me talk about anything in particular, let me know. I kind of feel more like making this channel more about like me and my thoughts. That sounds really self-centered. Instead of like role plays, you know? And it doesn't have to be anything like deep or like serious. Most of my conversations are deep and serious in person. Sorry guys, I can simply not be normal about anything. But yeah, if there's anything you want me to talk about, let me know. And yeah, that is all I think today. So thank you for sticking around. If you are new here, you're probably like, what's the big deal? I again want to apologize for my absence. I am present now. I will try to continue to be present, and I am super grateful for all of your support that it's just been coming in regardless of me being here. It's really nice. You guys are really nice. I appreciate you. So anyways, if you enjoyed my ramble, or if you'd like to hear me talk about things, perhaps subscribe to my channel. I kind of have to start over with my watch hours, but that's okay. It's okay. It happens. And I'm not monetized, so I'm literally here for fun. You never hear that from influencers. Oh, influencer culture. I could talk about that too. One highlight from this year. Who is the best artist you've ever seen in concert? What's your favorite part of history to study? Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you have a wonderful day, a wonderful week, a wonderful month. I guess I should wish you a wonderful year, just in case. And I hope you come back. Alright? Have a wonderful night, or morning, or morrow. I don't remember how I ended my videos before. Oh well.